Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special edition here on Monday night. It is Trekking Across the Universe on the NDB Media Network. Yeah, I know it should be Monday night in America, but Michael, this man over to my left right here, he has a habit of reaching out to people, like the old phone commercials. You reach out and touch someone. He took Monday Night in America off the air and he brought on Trekking Across the Universe. But hey, we've got some good stuff. We're going to get to it. I want to give a shout out to Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us and everyone else in the chat room. Why don't you let us know who you are and where you hail from? And if Elizabeth wants to identify herself again, hey, it's all good. We're in the same family here. Peace and long life to everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is Trekking Across the Universe. Today is September 19th, 2020, September 18th. I guess I'm in the Nexus. I'm already thinking to myself as tomorrow, but it is September 18th, 2023. Want to welcome my co-host. We go ahead and start. You know who I am. I'm Roger. Michael, introduce yourself. And then Greg, be nice.
Yeah, I'm Michael Day. I'm hanging around here like normal. And thank you, Elizabeth, for your comment. Now we'll, see, there you go. Yeah, Elizabeth's from Sacramento, and let's go on to Greg and have him introduce our guest and introduce himself.
Well, we'll have him introduce himself first.
That's what I said. Yes,
I'm sure you did.
I'm Greg, returning this lovely Monday evening. It's kind of dreary in the Northeast U.S. But tonight, more important than any of the three of us, we've got a very special guest from Warp 66 Studios, the Federation Files. We have Mr. Glen L. Wolfe.
Good evening. Hopefully, we will be entertaining and somebody may learn something new about our projects.
Oh, man, were you hoping that we're going to be entertaining? I have bad news for everyone.
Projects. Tell us about your projects.
Yeah, spoiler alert, folks. But no, all kidding aside, ladies and gentlemen, we are thrilled to have Glen L. Wolfe on. He's going to talk about some of the stuff he's done. But obviously, we're going to be looking at the Federation Files right now. Glen, why don't you tell us what the Federation Files is right now? And look at that, Joseph! Good evening, Joseph. Spurka, where are you from, Joseph? I know I'm all over the place. Sorry, I am a temporal mess. So, as opposed to other things. Glen, all kidding aside, why don't you tell us how you got going on this?
All right. Well, the Federation Files is an anthology Star Trek series that I started, about 7 years ago or so. Basically, the concept was I like to do episodes not necessarily based on the Enterprise or necessarily with characters we know. So each episode is standalone and could happen on any ship or in any timeline. So that kind of gave us the freedom to write stories that we don't have to be real focused on canon, which we do try to follow canon, but we're not so invested in characters that are so defined that it's kind of hard to write for them because you know everything about them already. So we're introducing new characters, new ships, new situations, and then occasionally bring back, a beloved character here or there. And basically, that's it in a nutshell. A Star Trek anthology series, and you never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get is definitely right. I do think that there may be an echo in there somewhere. So hopefully whoever has that echo, we could work on that and fix that. But you recently released a project that I think was a long time in coming. I think it was about a month ago. Why don't you tell us about that? And if I may we play a little bit of it here tonight as we talk about it? Would that be all right with you, Glen? I know I'm literally holding the gun to your head right now, right?
Hey, as they say in Hollywood, any publicity is good publicity. So sure, you can show them some cuts from it. Do you want to play it while I'm talking, or how do you want to do that?
Actually, why don't you go ahead and tell us what it is, and then maybe we'll do. I think it was like about a minute or two, which is like the either the teaser or the first act to give them an idea what it is, and then you tell. What I'll do is, if you have particular timestamp, you can tell me. Actually, Glenn, you know that you're able to do that as well, right? Since you're a guest, you can
Yeah.
actually activate a window. If not, if you leave it to me, again, we're going to do it. But why don't you tell us what it is, and I'm going to try to bring it up. And when you're ready to play it, we can start with the first minute or so.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, our latest release was not a part of the Federation Files Star Trek series. We started a little side project called Sci-Fi Shorts, where we're going to delve into other uh, science fiction and fantasy uh, movies and TV series, just to kind of have some fun outside of Star Trek. So came up with this little concept, and we're calling it Stargate 13, and it's a little short episode about well, the number 13 will come into play, of course. So don't want to give you all the details of it, but there's a Stargate 13, four members are out there just doing a routine job, and things kind of go awry. um, and you have to watch it to find out what happens. But we had a lot of fun making it, um, and I thought our CGI guy Dan Reynolds, who's my partner in Federation Files, did a really nice job with the effects, especially on the Stargate. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. It's a fun little short. We're going to do some other shorts along the same line for some other series as well, and we may even do another Stargate after this one. So if you want to give them a little look at it, we can go ahead and do that.
Thank you. Glenn, I'm thinking it's about 2 minutes where we get to the titles. Is that good? So we can give them a
Yep.
little bit of a tease?
Yep.
Okay. And thank you, Michael, for that. Folks, don't forget, it's at the bottom right there on Facebook as well as on YouTube. I found them on YouTube. We're going to get to it right now. Like I say, we're going to play up to the titles, or Glenn says, no, stop it now. We'll stop
You
it at
you can
that
show the
point.
whole thing. I don't care.
That's kind of you. But we'll get to it right now, and then we'll talk about some of the other stuff as well. I will shut up now.
So, can anyone tell me why it's called a Stargate? It doesn't go to the stars; it goes to other planets.
So what would you call it? Planet Gate?
Be more accurate. So you want that patch on your shoulder to say PG-13? What?
No, okay, okay.
Go! I'll dial. Cover!
Get out of here, Cap.
Are you kidding? Go, that's an order.
No, sir, I got this. You're right behind you.
It's an excellent start. I didn't realize it's really only about a minute when we get to the titles, so I may have estimated incorrectly. But that was a cool start. You have some awesome practical effects already. I was genuinely surprised by some of that. And I don't want to dominate. I want to bring Michael and Greg in as well, of course. But in this 1 minute, it took you what, 10 seconds to get the story moving? I love the PG-13 line. That was funny.
You know what's funny about that PG-13 line? When I originally wrote it, I was going to call it Stargate SG-12 for no particular reason, and then I thought of that we're going to talk about why do we call it a Stargate. I'm like, wow, if we did 13, I could put a little joke in there. So that's how that came about. That wasn't in the original draft.
That was good, Glenn. I genuinely did. I laughed out loud with the sarcasm because it felt real. You got the guys on duty, on station, and they're yapping it up amongst themselves. And that was creative. It was PG, right? What are you going to call it? PG-13.
PG-13, yeah.
Yeah, those are those happy accidents, right, Glenn?
Yep. Yeah, sometimes, just comes to you.
It worked. I'm a minute in. I'm already laughing. It was kind of neat. At first, I was like, whoa, damn, was that supposed to be funny? And I look back, I'm like, oh, actually, it was, yes, because I thought it was going to be more on the serious side. So it is a serious story, but there is humor in it. I don't want to go ahead and give up everything. But tell us about the practical effects on the weapons. I was genuinely surprised on how well it looked for a fan film. And please don't take that as a slam, young man. I
Hey,
just
you know
thought that
what?
that was good.
I am not one of those guys who think I'm trying to get a Hollywood job. I do this for fun. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But honestly, you complete a project, I'm happy with it. You can like it, you can not like it. As long as you give me constructive criticism, I'm good. If you just want to, just complain to complain, I don't want to hear that. But no, I don't take myself too seriously. Honestly, practical effects, the only practical effect in that whole scene was the fire.
Oh, okay. All right.
Everything else is CG.
Oh
Wait a minute.
wow! So the gun, the
The
light,
guns were
The
also.
guns never fired around. Those are plastic.
Nuh-uh!
wow.
Okay, Glenn. All kidding aside, I really thought those were. That's why I said, dude, I was. I mean,
That looked really good. Dan did
sorry,
that. That's
Glenn.
awesome.
Dan Reynolds is phenomenal. It turned out better than I expected because I was like, I'm like, I need to, because I do have access to a couple AR-15s, but I'm like, I'm gonna have the cops over here if I start firing this crap off.
Mm.
So I bought a couple AR-15 air guns, and spray painted the orange tips off of them, and said, "Hey, just pretend like you're shooting, and we'll fix it in post." But yeah,
That's a
we
big
never
deal.
fired one bullet.
Yeah.
I thought you were firing blanks there. I thought that was the real thing. That looked great.
Oh my God! Well, I hope Dan is watching and he can appreciate that because he's the talent behind making things look good. I'm kind of the idea guy and I organize things, but without Dan, it's just going to be a half-finished film. So he's the one that polishes it.
Uh, I got to tell you, my mouth is open on that. That was really well done. I was being nosy. I really wanted to know what you did with the weapon, but that was all done after. That's
Yep.
impressive.
Yeah.
Wow. That was Michael. I thought they were. Yeah,
Well, I did
thanks.
too. I did too. But then I looked at the guns and I went, "What kind of guns are those?"
Yeah, they're not.
It was just an angle, and I just saw it at a funny angle, and I went, "What kind of guns are those?" But I thought the same thing you did, Roger. First time I saw it, which was about when I first contacted Glenn, and I watched it, and I thought, "Oh my." How did they get a permit to do that? Looks like they're in the woods or
Oh my God.
behind a house or something. I said, "Oh my."
And you're right. Yeah, that's across the street from my studio. There's a wooded lot. I own both sides of the road, and one side has the studio on it, and the other side is woods. And we shoot a lot of stuff out in there. But right behind that is the electric company. So you
Oh,
probably
they would love that then. Yeah.
don't want to
Gun
be
shop,
firing a lot of
yeah.
rounds off in that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, the municipal authorities would be on
Yeah.
you guys quicker than you can say, "Hey, what's going on here?" I want to give a shout out to David Whitney. Thank you for joining us and your comment. David, let us know where you are and where you hail from. And everyone else, please, folks, we're a bunch of old guys here, and I'm not talking about Glenn. I'm talking
I
about
am.
the NDB Media Group. We're a bunch of old guys here. We love the likes. We need the likes, subscribe, and all that stuff. We love it. We need it. We're begging for it. So if you guys give us some likes on Facebook, we'll give you some shout outs as well. So David says, besides Trek and Stargate, what other sci-fi found films are you considering? Before you answer that, Glenn, Greg, Michael, is he wanting to be a host on the program? Just kidding. All kidding aside, Glenn, yeah, we do have a question from David.
Well, first of all, in case any of you don't know, David is my Harry Mudd character I did a couple Harry Mudd episodes and he plays Harry Mudd. So
Oh, that explains it. Okay.
but
Well,
upcoming
I just thought, Glenn, sorry to interrupt. I just thought you were going to leave it. He is my Harry Mudd. Like, okay, is that code or does that?
No, I got it.
Yeah, I'm like, thank goodness you finished it off because I was like, are we supposed to ask a follow-up on this one?
Well, no. See, he brings in all the androids, you see, for the production.
Yeah.
So this is Yeah, we're still gonna say we're gonna be PG-13 still. So,
Oh,
so anyway, David, right now I've started shooting and I'm still building the sets for Space 1999.
oh, oh! Wow, is this maybe a little bit breaking news? Have you announced that yet?
If you actually follow my page, I've seen some pictures from it, but we haven't really said, "Hey, we're doing Space 1999." But some pictures I've been put up to see if anyone catches it.
Wow.
So
Okay.
not breaking news, but not officially announced anywhere. So kind of breaking news.
That's very kind of you. I'm glad that you're able to share some of that with us right now. David, I wonder what the wow was for. I don't know if it was for the compliment or the idiocy from the host right here. Hey, it is what it is. I'm sorry if you weren't warned. You've been warned now. Now,
Speak for yourself.
Other guests have done reconnaissance on us and know before they come in that that's.
oh, it's on Space 1999. There it is.
Of course it is. That's a pretty
Yes.
big wow.
Actually, yes, it is that. And we're about there September 13th. We're 5 days after the anniversary. So
Yeah.
that is kind of cool for you hardcore Space 1990ers. I know that was lame. I want to go back to a quick other image. You were talking about where you do the filming. This was cool, or it is really looking cool. Where is this? Because later on, without spilling that might have been a Freudian slip. Without spilling too much of the episode, one of the characters goes in there and it's still water. And when they go in to fill their canteen, the ripple effect was neat. That was cool. Where is this filmed at? Is this across the street as well from the studio?
The actual are you talking about the bridge?
Well, okay, the bridge, but this river where you can see on screen. Are you able to see it, folks? This spot right here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have you on two pads because if I look, I have my laptop blacked out because I get too much eye shine on my glasses. Okay, well, the picture you put up, that river is at the end. My studio is on a dead end street. It ends in that river.
Oh wow, that's cool. Like
so
I said,
that's about 500 feet from the studio.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, fair enough. I like that.
Beautiful.
Like I said, it's not a practical effect, but there was that scene a little bit later where, as I said, someone puts their canteen in there, and the water was so still. The ripple effect was really
Yeah,
neat.
it does. That water does not flow very quickly at all. No. Sadly, that river is full of copperheads.
Oh, lovely.
But we didn't see any the day we shot, so I do make everyone sign a waiver just in case.
Executive producer, you demand. That's
I was
good.
just gonna say, gee, I wish I'd walked down to see the river when I was there, and now I'm thinking, no, maybe I'm glad I didn't.
Well, I'm just hoping it was the ripple effects weren't from some copperheads that were actually hiding from you.
Could be, and you never know what might be in there. This is in Arkansas, so there's some stuff living in the water.
Okay, I was about to ask, and I think you said that earlier, and I apologize. I was going to ask, where is this? It's Arkansas. All right, I hear you. Yes. Now, it was cool. The bridge, I guess it's a railroad bridge, right?
Yes, it's a railroad trestle. Yeah.
Or trestle. Yes, thank you. Where was that? Where's that in relation to the studio?
That's probably maybe 1,000 feet from the studio.
Oh wow, it really is right around the
corner.
Yeah,
there's a train track that runs on the opposite side of the studio from where the woods are. Actually, between the studio and the trestle is where the river you had shown. That little creek is between there. So that's the same water in the trestle shot as the river, just a different place.
Oh, 10-4. May I move on up to the 10-minute, 39-second mark or about? She's on the trestle.
Yep.
And I guess she's disposing of something. I don't want to be over. Look, Glenn, I don't know if it was intentional, but it was funny.
What, about a piece of it coming off?
or just where the body. Well, I'm assuming it's a bot. Yeah, okay, you know what I'm talking about, folks. It's funny. I'm glad they didn't edit it or whatever. Yeah, you can see the river. I appreciate that, Joseph. Again, I laughed out loud. I don't know if it was intentional, but it was funny. Here we go. Watch the body. Look. Boom. I'm sorry. I know that should be a dramatic moment. It was funny they did separate.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was funny how the body hit the.
Yeah. To be quite honest, she was terrified. We did one take. We were going to use whatever we got out of the one take.
It's a bit misleading, obviously, for us. But how high is that? Is that like maybe 50, 60, or is it maybe even 100 feet? What do you think?
I would say it's probably not 100, but it's a good 50 or 60 feet.
That's high. That's 5 stories, folks.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
pretty. It's pretty. And yes, she was terrified. So when I told her you'll act really stressed and everything when you're up there, she's like, I don't have to act for this. I don't like this at all. I hate heights and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this in one take, and whatever we get, if it doesn't work, we'll have to cut to something else.
Wow. It was well done. She's a trooper, both figuratively and literally. Yes. This is cool. I'm sure Greg was able to see it and Michael as well. I'm dominating. I'm wondering if they have some questions as well. Before I hand it off to them, you had some beautiful shoot days, man. By design or not. Oh my goodness. You had some beautiful weather. Was it very hot, humid, or
Well, let me put it this way. The reason we have a lot of beautiful shoot days is because this might have been, although the easiest post production to do, the longest. It took us longer to make this one than any other one. Not sure why. It took us over a year to shoot this because of people's schedules. I actually recast the entire thing from the beginning. Other than the main character is the only one who didn't eventually had to back out. So we just kept, and because a lot of it was centered on her, we'd have a weekend come up where nobody was busy, and I'd call her up and say, "Hey, it's supposed to be nice this weekend. You want to come and do some shots?" So because it was a minimal cast is how we were able to get good weather out of it. But it was very, very strenuous to get it shot, even though I think the whole cast was no more than 6 people. I've had films that have over 50 people in them that we were able to shoot way faster than just trying to get these 6 done.
Yeah, that's typical with fan films. It's because it's on everybody's when they're free, and yeah, been there many times. Still have problems with cast, or they cut out at the last minute, and then you have to recast. And if you've shot other things, it's bad for the poor editor that has to try to make sense of it if you can. So I totally get that.
Yep.
I totally get
It happens a lot, by the way,
Yes.
too.
Oh,
with
I
everybody,
know.
not just with us.
that. Everybody.
Yeah. Greg, did you want to jump in?
No, I'm listening.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Well, no, it's like I say, I'm sorry, folks. I didn't want to monopolize because I do bore the audience when I do so. Glenn, I am genuinely surprised. I was going to ask you a technical question as to did you get this done in a day or 2? So by you telling me that, wow, that it doesn't look like it. I didn't pick up on it. Wow.
Yeah, the advantage we had was because the whole film takes place over her being there 8 or 9 months, that even if looks changed a little bit, we were passing time. And just so that because you've seen the film, the winter scene is truly shot in the winter.
Oh, you know what? I didn't think about that. It was so subtle, Glenn. Yeah. I just took it for what it was. I wasn't asking like, hey, how'd they do that? It looked good, Glenn. It really did. It does. I didn't mean to say did. Wow.
So yeah, because it took us a year to shoot, it did help us with accurately making the passage of time look real, because it really happened.
Wow. All right. I'm going to interrupt Michael on this one. I want to go to an image that we have at about 9.5. I'm going to go to it right now. Here it is. You have some practical effects, and I guess you have some special effects in this shot, do you not?
Let me see it come up here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back just a bit. Here we go. Sorry about that. It looks like he has a wound, and then there is something on his leg as well. I may have gone too far back, and I apologize. Oh, I like the birds back there. That was good. There it is.
Ooh.
Yeah. She hasn't seen them yet, but we did. I think she's gonna find him right now. There, yeah, look, right there. You see that? Oh, that thing on the leg is gone.
Yep. So we really sliced him open. Those are real guts.
Oh, impressive. I like it.
Wow.
So,
the lengths you go to for fan films.
I'm telling you. Now, did you like give him any tequila, whiskey? I know there's no tequila, right? Whiskey or bourbon or anything like that to calm him down?
Now, actually, we just hit him over the head, and then just took a knife.
Yeah.
But no, the guts, of course, are practical effect. What else were we asking? Because there's some CG in there, of course, too. So the little scorpion was CG, which you probably knew that.
Wow.
The birds, CG.
Yeah. Yeah, the birds back over here. Yeah. Honestly, Glenn, they work because special effects or these effects, they're supposed to fool you the first time.
Yep.
They rarely ever, and I mean in general in Hollywood, they're not supposed to hold up. That's not the point. The point is for it to work the first time around. And I hope I don't back up too much, but there was the moment where there was a scorpion, I think, on him.
Yep.
But I may not be able to find it. But everyone did. Okay, there it is, down there at the bottom. So that was CG then.
Right. And we actually shot that with a practical mechanical scorpion, and we shot it without it there, so that if we didn't like the way the practical one looked, we could put a CG one in. So we actually shot it 2 different ways. And when we looked at the footage, the practical prop just didn't do it for us. So Dan went in and put that one in.
Wow. Definitely looks good. You guys did some good stuff on this, and it passes the muster in my humble opinion. Sorry, Michael. Thank you for resetting the setup right there. So, wow. Again, this took a year to do. Wow, that's crazy. It does not look like it. So, on something like this, on the image that I was able to show everyone, take us through it. What is the setup? How long does it take? He's wounded, or I guess in this case, dead. He's DOA. I don't know if it's dead on arrival. I think it's dead because he's there. More like dead on arrival. But what was the shoot like on that day? How long did it take? And then to add that CG, how much time, man? That's a lot.
I think, well, to shoot that scene with both versions, with the practical effect and then without the practical effect, we probably spent no more than 2 hours shooting that scene, and then Dan probably put 2 or 3 days in putting the CG in it. Wow. But I have to give my actors a lot of credit. They were all prepared. Now, of course, to prepare there and lay there isn't that hard. But he had lines another part. But everyone showed up and knew their lines. That's the thing to me that either makes or breaks your shoot, is if the people who volunteer to be the actors take it seriously enough to know their lines. I've been on shoots. I mean, I've been on probably 50 or different shoots of different people's films, not just my own. And you have actors come in that haven't even looked at the script. They're just like, just tell me what to do.
Really?
Well,
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah, and then you know what you're going to get when it's that. So, but my actors all learn their lines. A lot of them know each other, so they were able to either do a Skype message or something and kind of rehearse with each other over the internet.
Yeah.
Some of them lived close enough to each other that they could actually meet up and actually rehearse. So our shooting days, especially for this one, we didn't have any problems with lines. It was trying to keep the sun out of the camera, so we have to keep moving camera position as the day went all along, so that we didn't have lens flare all the time.
Wow. That is cool. That is good to know. On a personal comment, I understand from actors, the perfect actor is the one that's on time and is prepared. That's the ultimate bit of professionalism, and one might even say care for one another, right? Because they're ready to go.
Yep.
That says a lot for the people that you have, as well as for you, sir, because you have a team that does that, which is really cool.
And that's one reason you see that the lead actress in this one, Caitlin, that's why you've seen her in a bunch of my films, because she shows up early, she knows her lines, and she's willing to help do the 50 million other things you got to do to make this happen. So she's a rock. Like I said, she's prepared and she's willing to do whatever it takes to get the shots done and move on, because she enjoys this just as much as I do.
You must. Let's go back to, okay, we know it was about a year to shoot. Did that include the post, would you say, or how much did that add? Well, you said shoot a year. How long did post add to it?
Actually, Dan worked on it as we shot.
Okay.
So after the last shooting day, we were probably 30 days from release.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive. Okay.
So really a year to get the thing done. And I know that sounds crazy since it took a year to shoot it, but the last two shooting days were just Dan's editing. And because it took so long to shoot, there'd be like a subtle detail in the script that we didn't get on camera. So we'd have Caitlin come back and say, all we needed to do is pick up the zap off the ground. We forgot to get that shot. So like the last shoot was really pick up shots that only took, half an hour.
I want to jump a tad ahead. This looked good as well. Oh, I may have jumped a little too. Okay, here it is. Oh, David has a comment. Oh, and by the way, I'm sorry I did show it off earlier. That's when we were talking about the body that fell. It was an ode to Billy Joel, which I thought was kind of funny. It was about that time. And David says, if Glenn asks you to help or be in a film, you do it. Fun times 10. I like that.
Oh my gosh, David is great too. He's always prepared, and you might want to have him on sometime, because we had a blast. We did 2 different Harry Mudd episodes, and he's a blast.
Well, all kidding aside, then
Those are fun ones to watch.
Okay, I will ask Michael to work with you, Glenn, to make that happen. All kidding aside, we would love to spend time to talk about it. I think that is a cool thing. I want to, let me see, did I set it up correctly? This is another cool shot. Not practical effects. This is a bit of special effects, I suppose, or CG. You can tell me. This looked cool. And I'm not talking about the bridge, but it happens right after. Check it out, folks. And I am taking advantage because Glenn said we could show a lot of it. I don't want to show it all, but this looked cool, young man. I got to tell you.
One of my favorite shots of the show.
Yes, it looks good, and thank you for that, Michael. I got to tell you, it does. It works, and I can only imagine how much work was done just to get that in there.
Yeah, Dan said that was too much CG work. I had to build a pyramid and put it up on a tower in the woods.
And I'm glad he told you to do that because CG can be a pain.
That's Dan's CG. And if anyone does editing, I don't know all of your backgrounds totally, but if you're putting in CG and you have camera motion and everything, it's a challenge. But I actually gave Dan the option of doing a reveal of a pyramid any way he wanted. And this was actually one of the pickup shots we had Caitlin come back for, because he decided he wanted to, put it, behind the forest and have her walking to it as he's, pushing the camera. And it worked out. That he got exactly what he wanted, and I'm happy with it.
It looks great. I went back to the image as you were talking about it so that the audience could see it, and it does. It really, it's cool. It's a nice effect. It works, and it's part of the story. As for those of us who saw the episode, we know she didn't go 6 miles. But she says earlier in the story, she says, well, I went a few miles in all these different directions. I said, well, you didn't go very far. Elizabeth, thank you for that comment. It is a very cool shot. And we'll get to your scene in a bit, young man. But I want to back up a little bit. I want to back up to the idea, the genesis for this. Or actually, would this be more Oh, sorry. That was lame. All right, I know pyramids. Sorry, biblical. Greg's gonna let me have it when we do Ahsoka later, but just kidding. Tell us about how you got the idea for this story. Not necessarily what you're doing. We'll get into that why you do what you do, but how did it come about?
It's been so long now. I don't. Oh, actually, I do remember. I do remember how this came about. This is kind of a joke between Dan and myself. And David's probably heard this story. I come up with a lot of my ideas because we're on a budget. I thrift shop all the time, and I was thrifting, and I found there was a plastic skeleton of kind of an eel-like creature.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you know now what I'm talking about because we'll see it. I saw that at a thrift store and it was like $2. I'm like, I can use that sometime. And then when I got it home, I'm like, if you don't shoot this real close, you could sell this as a Gould skeleton. So I'm like, I got to figure out how to make that work. So really, the very beginning of the idea was I was thrifting and I found this. I'm like, I'm going to make this work in some kind of fan film. And I've always loved Stargate. I served in the military, so I had plenty of uniforms laying around. So then I bought a couple patches and wrote kind of a draft and said, hey, who wants to play Stargate? And to my amazement, all of my friends love Stargate as well. So we went from there. But yeah, it really started from thrifting and finding this skeleton that I wanted to use somehow.
I'm going to try to find that image. I'll get to it in a little bit. But I want to tell you another neat effect. I was going to say neat little effect, and I didn't mean no. It was a neat effect, and it's the planet itself. It was really good on how even the planet speeds up in time. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Exactly.
That was cool, man. That really looked good. And I'm going to go to it right now, folks. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for joining us. Please let us know who you are and where you hail from the chat room. I want to give a shout out to Elizabeth. She gave us a like on Facebook. We love it. We thank you. And just keep doing it, Elizabeth. So anyway, we're going to get to it right now. This was another, not a cool effect, but yet another cool effect. Check it out, folks. It is subtle when you think of the effect. Yes, the effect is the planet is static, and then the clouds begin to move. So it's almost like I guess it's second, hourly, daily, and then just you take off weeks, right? Maybe
Yep.
even months. And then it slows down again. See, the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, I accidentally laughed because I thought it was like, oh, wait a minute, is this a deliberate delayed effect? Like something was up. I realized after, it was like, oh, it was a passage of time. It was a cool
Exactly.
effect. Yeah.
Yep. And
Very
how
good.
that one came about, I gave Dan two options, because in the script I just wrote passage of time, and I said, hey, let's do either like a time lapse of the sun coming up, going down, coming up, going down, or let's just spin the planet fast and then slow. And he chose to do this one.
It is cool, man. It is. Now, these bright spots, is that the reflection from the sun, stars, or something, or is that a civilization that she didn't find?
You know
Or
what? It could be a volcano. I honestly do not know if he put that in there intentionally or if it was on some kind of plate that he already had. She's obviously not near it because she doesn't find it.
right.
But I honestly don't know. I did see that, and I'm like, well, because it's a big planet, if it is actually a civilization there, she just doesn't happen to find it. But yeah, those bright spots. The one is a reflection of the sun.
Okay.
The other ones just happen to be there, and I don't have any reason for that either way.
I'm not sure if you can catch it on screen, and I apologize. But about here, folks, do you see the detail there? The animation, the subtle colors? It's not necessarily a lens flare, but it is the way the human eye sees this. It is cool. I'm going to run that one more time. I caught it the first time, and I'm going to do it again. Look, watch as it spins. You're going to see the reflection of the planet almost. This is not a J.J. Abrams lens flare by any means, but check it out, folks. This is impressive. Here we go. You see it? See it right there? That is a cool effect. That is neat. That is some absolutely one. Oh, was it a duck? Was it a turkey? What is she doing? What is she doing right there? Was it a rubber chicken?
I'm glad you asked, because when I brought that out and handed it to her, she was like, "You don't want me to touch that, do you?" It is actually a rubber bird, but it looks pretty good. I did a
Yes.
little bit of painting and stuff on it from what it originally was, but it looked good enough to her in person that she didn't want to touch it.
Oh, wow. That is cool. I did notice where I stopped. Here's what we were talking about a moment ago. The winter scene. I just took that for granted, Glenn. That's how
Yes.
well done it was.
Let me tell you this too. We had so little time to shoot that because we're in Arkansas. It's 60
yeah.
degrees out. It snowed the night before. I said, Caitlin, you got to get over here. We need to do a winter scene. And by the time Dan was setting up the camera, it was already half melted. It was about 3 times that deep when we got there.
Oh, yeah.
But and no sooner than by the time we had the car loaded up from being done, it was all gone.
Wow.
But yeah, that's we really wanted a winter scene. We got lucky; it snowed, and Caitlin was available.
How often do you get snow in Arkansas? I don't think it's all that often.
No, a couple times a year, and
okay.
So I don't know. So once or twice you'll have snow enough to last a day or two, but no. Now, David and people that know me know I'm from Chicago, so we're used to snow for 5 months, and it's 3 feet deep. But we just got lucky. Because we were considering CGing a winter scene, but this, of course, worked way better.
You talked earlier about the practical effect, the fire,
Yep.
and it was not a practical effect. Is this the same thing here in this scene? I guess it's not real fire, huh?
Okay, that one's not real. The only fire we had was in the opening scene.
Oh, it was real. Okay.
Yeah,
I
the one in the
apologize.
opening scene was a real fire. All the rest of the fire in the rest of the show is not.
Okay. I gotcha. Oh, that is cool. I want to take a quick moment. I want to
I
give a
was going to
shout
ask
out.
if you melted your rubber bird.
Well, yeah, we couldn't melt the rubber bird, so.
Okay, that's good. I like that. I want to give thanks to Sonia Robles for giving us a like. Thank you, Sonia, as well as the aforementioned Elizabeth. We do thank you. Makes us feel better. Makes the old guys feel better. So thank you for that. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, please give us a like and a follow. I kind of went away from this because it was kind of taken away from the image that we were looking at. So I apologize. It's right there. Why don't you give a? Oh, I'm sorry, wrong one. I chose the wrong one,
Yeah,
didn't I,
you
Michael?
chose the wrong one. I'll pull it
I'm
up.
sorry. I've got it. All right. There it is again. The Facebook, YouTube, and you can check that out. So, oh, we got a whole bunch of likes now all of a sudden. David Whitney. Thank you, David. And Joseph. Is it Joseph Spurka? And I'm going to have to assume that it is. But you know what they say about assume, right?
Yeah.
So it's all good. But thank you guys. Really, it does mean a great deal to us. It does help the metric. And what the metric is, I sure don't know. But it does help it. And it's all good. So, Glenn, you've been doing this stuff for about 7 years now, I believe you said.
Yep.
And how many, not counting the outtakes, because you do have quite a few, which I want to do, I want to check out. How many episodes or short? How many? What are we looking at?
We have right now out. We have 13 Star Trek episodes of varying lengths. Some are 5 minutes, some are a full 53 minutes. Just depends what the story calls for. We have, I think it's 9 or 10 cartoons or animated cartoons, and then we have this Stargate one. So however many that adds up to, around 20. In different genres, but 13 of the core Federation files.
Wow. It is cool that you're adding to it. So let's back up again. I mentioned that we're going to do this. You're Ray did, Trey, Glenn. Why? Why do you do this? Why?
Because I'm stupid.
Oh, no. That's because you're here today with us. No. No. Why do you do what you do? Seriously. All kidding aside.
I think it goes all the way back to when I was a kid, honestly. I was 10 when Star Wars came out, and me and a couple of my me and a couple of my friends, I had an old 8mm camera, so we were going to make a Star Wars. Of course, back then they didn't call them fan films. So I've always been creative. I wanted to be a graphic artist, and that's what I studied originally. My parents kind of talked me out of that because they basically told me, no one makes money in art. You need a real job, like a mechanic or something. So they weren't very supportive. But that's okay. I did my art thing anyway. I went to school and became a biomedical engineer. So they were happy I was doing something that wasn't foolish. But I still was foolish at home and started doing this kind of stuff. But what really got me into it was I found on eBay one day one of James Cawley's films, the one that has George Takei in it.
Yes.
I didn't even know what fan films were. I was looking on eBay for something and I saw that. I'm like, hey, that's Sulu. So I'm thinking this must be some Star Trek I haven't seen. So I bought it. Somebody had pirated it and was printing them, and anyway, and then I figured out after the fact that, this isn't really actual Star Trek. And I got a hold of James. I worked on a bunch of his films. I worked on a bunch of other films. And then when they became a museum up there and shut down, I'm like, well, I still want to play. So then I started doing my own thing.
Wow. Okay, fair enough. So the $1 million credit question, Star Trek. What is it to you? What does it represent, Glenn? It along the lines of why Star Trek?
Yeah, why Star Trek versus the other series, which I do enjoy a lot of other, sci-fi, but Star Trek to me was always a hopeful future,
Hmm.
which is actually my biggest complaint against new Star Trek in general is if I wanted Star Wars, I'd watch Star Wars, where people are just fighting all the time. It was the hope that mankind was moving forward, working together, trying to create a utopian society, but still having struggles, but able to work them out. So really, it's the hope of a future that's not dismal.
I appreciate that, Glenn, and I would like to second the motion on the superhero aspect that in Star Trek, the 2016 movie, Star Trek Beyond, when they're fighting it out on what's left of the Enterprise, our heroes are superheroes. They can do things that it's just you just couldn't normally do. And I think that's part of the aspect that kind of tuned me out a little bit. I mean, it's cool seeing the action sequences and stuff, but yeah, it got a little out of hand, if you will. And I'm not sure which ones of the new series you mean, but more than likely Discovery, possibly. I
Oh,
get that. Yes, there's
well,
it.
even Enterprise lost me after they brought the Xindi in. Um,
Oh, really? So going back there. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. Even that far back, after and Deep Space Nine as well. Um, as long as they were doing, human, stories about, everyday struggles, I was good. But then when you got a 10-story arc on, trying to defeat the Dominion, they kind of lost me there. So any of the ones that had to resort to starting a war to keep things interesting, that's when they all lost me. So after Voyager was my probably the last one I really enjoyed until Strange New Worlds or oddly Lower Decks. I enjoyed, although not a live action show. At least it wasn't fighting all the time.
I appreciate that insight, Glenn. Voyager, uh, with all of its faults, with everything that it had, yes, there was something about it. It's not the quintessential Star Trek. There was a lot to like. There is some to dislike, but yes, I would agree with you, Glenn. Unfortunately, everyone has heard and they are bored with the story.
Yep.
I was lucky, and I thank Joe Minosky once again. June 12th, 1998. I walked the sets of Voyager. I didn't walk them all because they were filming, but I was lucky. But I also talked about that once I walked the sets, the magic was gone.
That
I
is
had
so true.
seen behind the curtain. Oh, tell me about that, Glenn, please.
Oh,
Being a creator. Yeah, tell us
yeah.
about that,
Oh my
please.
God. Yeah. That is the craziest thing is, um, actually my wife says all the time, I've ruined TV for her
Oh,
because
wow.
now she doesn't watch the shows. She watches for where they messed up, or she knows that, the set is only so big, or if you tilt
Mhm.
up, you see the rafters. Um, but, um, but if you guys did not watch our latest Mud one called Mud's Mission, I have a new actress in there. Her name is Lexi. Um, and she was playing an alien counterpart to Harry Mudd. That girl, the magic was not gone for her. She walked into our sets. You thought I'd have handed her $1 million check. She was so happy. She called up her family to come and see her on it, and oh my gosh! And that's what really makes it worthwhile. When the people who come in for the first time, even though, like you said, the magic is gone, because when you walk in the building, it's not closed off. You look up, yeah, yep. There's rafters and a tin roof, and the set goes this far and then there's nothing. But oh, that girl was a joy. She has a soft spot in my heart forever because she was just so giddy. It was almost hard to get her to act because she was having so much fun.
Is she in the preview for Mud's Mission?
She is not.
Okay, fair enough. we're talking about that episode. May I play the preview?
Yes, yeah, you can play anything off of our website you'd like.
It's very kind of you, Glenn. I thank you. But I do want to, forgive me, I want to tease the audience in going to
And
your
not
site.
spoil it.
Right, right. But we can get away with the teaser. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So, and Glenn, all kidding aside, I would love to play your episode, but then again, it's on our program.
Yep.
I want you to get the hits.
I totally
So-
appreciate that. I totally appreciate that.
So don't get me wrong, I really would love to, and if you want to do a live debut with us,
Hey, you know what?
But anyway,
I've been known to do that.
oh, that's very kind of you, folks. We're talking about Mud's Mission, which was the episode before the Stargate one, correct?
Actually, there's 2 episodes. I think that's 2 episodes back. I believe Magna Roma came out after that.
Darn it, that's right. I'm sorry, which I did see. That's right. I saw Magna Roma. Okay, I guess I'm not playing very well in your universe, young man.
And Magna Roma, just so that was the struggle because I tell you, actors don't show up in that one was a total disaster as far as getting people to show up.
I'm sorry. If I may, we'll do the teaser on that one as well.
Sure.
But folks, here we go. Check this one out. This is the Mud's Mission.
Yep.
Oh, darn it. I'm sorry. Enjoy.
Next time on the Federation Files,
I like
a
that.
geological disaster has plunged Cthulhu into a second ice age. The Federation has undertaken the task of relocating the entire population. The urgency of the evacuation has overwhelmed
Those are my twin daughters.
opening the door for
Oh,
unofficial
wow.
trafficking of refugees across Federation borders. One opportunist taking advantage of the situation is well known to Starfleet
That's David
and
Whitney.
the Federation.
That is cool. That is neat. I like that. And all we got of him was him looking around.
Yeah.
That was cool. That
He's
is
great as Mud.
Glenn. I'm sorry, Greg. Go ahead.
He is great as Mud.
Okay.
They're fun episodes to watch, Glenn. I enjoy those.
Thank you so
Folks,
much.
you're gonna have to
He's
check it
fun
out.
to work with too. So
I think it's very clear that if you want the definition of a tease, folks, the way it should be done, it's not bad, Glenn. Oh, all kidding aside, you don't show the episode. You just give an idea. It's the way it should be. But again, I'm having an argument with the alpha generation of today. They have
Yep.
to know everything.
Right.
So
All you need to know was Harry Mudd was showing up. That was all you need to know.
that was cool. That was neat. I'm not going to go ahead and really show that episode,
Right.
but I do want to see if I could find the teasers you mentioned to the Magna Roma.
I'm not even sure we did a teaser. I got to be honest, because it's
based on the play all, I didn't see one.
Yeah, I don't know because it's a 7-minute episode. We might not have done a teaser for that one.
Oh, that's right. If you do a 30-second, that's a significant
Yeah.
portion of the
That's
episode.
a lot of the show. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that is cool. You know what? I apologize, folks. Elizabeth, Glenn, you really must come and join these guys with Lower Decks commentary on Saturdays. By the way, Glenn, we are doing every episode of Lower Decks on Saturday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. We talk about every episode. So.
Oh, okay. I will have to do that because I enjoyed that one a lot.
I would ask you to speak with Michael because apparently Michael is the one that is friends with everyone.
That's
And
right.
Michael is in contact with everyone.
That's right.
And Michael knows everything that's going on. And as a bit of an internal joke, I'm going to put him on blast. in a good
Oh, are
way.
you going to put it?
It's not funny, Michael. It's not.
Well, it's not funny. It's true.
Oh, you. Okay. With Electric Entertainment, Sci-Fi, and NBC Universal. In the emails, I may have revealed a little bit too much, and I apologize. I guess I'm blowing our own horn right there.
Yes,
But I
you
have to
are.
for the sake of this story. They're communicating on the guest that we're having on, and at one point they said, okay, we're going to clear this guest for Trekking Across the Universe with Michael Day.
You're really sore about that, aren't you?
Yes, he is.
Dolan True, baby! Heck yeah. I think it's funny, and I think it's
It is
cool.
funny.
That it doesn't matter. It's really cool. And that's why I'm making a joke of it, folks, because it really is.
But
I
who's
don't.
making all the effort with all those people? Mr. Michael Day.
Now, don't you start.
Hey, Glenn, do you like how we stare at each other? It's something that we've been doing this for years now. Now, to get the spatial orientation correct, check this out. I am facing basically slightly west, so I'm looking at downtown LA. My back is to Greg. So if I turn left, I'm actually looking up at Elizabeth in Sacramento. No, wait. Oh, sorry. That's south of the border. There, Elizabeth is over there. That's north. So my back is actually to all of you. So, Michael, which direction are you looking in right now? This is kind of cool when you think about it, especially when we do that internal stare. Which direction, Michael?
South.
You're actually facing south.
Mhm.
So he's to my back looking that way. That's funny. Greg, what direction are you in?
So I'm facing south, and
Okay.
I'm in Connecticut this week, so I'm kind of like would be facing where Long Island is.
That's funny.
And
So
then the
Michael is
Atlantic
just off
below
to your
that.
right. Yeah.
Michael would be to my southeast.
Yes. Yeah. Be careful when you put the arm up like
Southwest.
that, dude. We can get in trouble for that. Okay. But put the arm down. Don't do it like that. I'm just messing around, being stupid, folks.
I'm
Glenn,
waving. My palm is open.
it's all good.
Well, it all
Glenn,
disappears.
what direction are you facing?
I'm facing due east toward the Mississippi River from
This
Arkansas.
is cool, folks. Think about how our orientation is. It's just part of it. It is really neat. Again, I want to give a shout out. Jay, thank you, Jay, for the like. I appreciate that.
Hey,
And we've got
Jay.
a few more comments. David Whitney says, what is coming up next for Warp 66? And then, Greg, be careful. Roger will boot you. Michael, was she a part of that conversation? I didn't think she would. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
she was.
Just kidding. Hey, Jay, they're greeting each other in the chat room. All kidding aside. Folks, very quickly, we're already 1 hour into this program. We're entering our second hour here on a wonderful Monday night. I don't know how much time we have with Glenn, so we don't want to embarrass him and also make him suffer. I may have been told how long he was going to commit. I missed the memo. So I just want to know that we are cognizant, Glenn.
Either, so.
Okay.
I'm sleeping. No, I can stay as long as you need.
Wrong answer.
Oh, that's the wrong answer.
Yeah,
totally.
totally
wrong answer.
Wrong answer, buddy.
Oh, I have 30 more seconds, and then I've got another interview.
That's funny. That was good. Before we get to that question by David Whitney, which is a good one, I want to tell the audience that even though we don't have a preview for it, the episode prior to the Stargate SG-13 it's entitled Escape from Magna Roma, correct?
Correct.
You see, look, they know. They know. So they're even trying to save you, buddy. Way wrong answer. In one of our other programs, one of our guests, God bless him, I saved the quote. I'm going to give him a little bit of love right here. I think we have it. Nathan Sherritt. He is a really good guy. He does a lot of memes on the internet. He's really funny. And he did this quote for this. NDB Media, where they throw the rule book out on time limits for live streams. They'll end it when it feels right. And yes.
There you go.
Now, tiny bit of
5
trivia.
hours later.
Not that we've ever done 5 hours. We've done like 5.5, but that's neither here nor there. Actually, we did almost 6 with Michael Bednar, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
It was definitely 5.5. Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh.
It's beautiful. It went like this. When you let the artist speak, which I'm not doing right now.
No.
Yes. Hey, I'm cognizant of it. A little bit of trivia, Glenn. I'm going to be a jerk with you. Remember this? Don't let the door hit you where the big bang splits you. You remember that?
I do, but I can't tell you where it's from, but I do remember it.
Lower Decks.
Yeah.
Do you remember the episode?
I do not. I've
Okay.
seen each episode once. I haven't committed it to memory.
And that's fair. Oh. Well, I had to write it down. I didn't commit it to memory.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Thank you,
at
Glenn, because
Pro-
I've only seen them once too.
Okay.
Yes. And I've actually only seen them once, except for, as I mentioned, their episode 3, which pissed me off. Season 1, I threw a tantrum. I don't know why I got mad. And then I saw it again. I'm like, why was I mad? the season finale to season 1 and the season finale season 3. Anyway, this episode I believe is episode 1 of season 3, where they go to Bozeman, Montana. They try
Okay.
to remember
Yep.
where Captain Freeman is being charged with the crimes.
Yep.
And then they go to see that guy to try to beam aboard.
Yep.
I thought that was a cool quote.
That is a good quote. Yeah.
That's Lower Decks, man.
You know, it's entertaining, and like you said, they're not fighting all the time, so I like it.
Glenn, you're a Star Trek fan for life, obviously.
Yep.
Did you have trouble with Lower Decks at first? Or was it right in your ballpark from day one?
I would say no, not in my ballpark.
Okay.
Because it was a little too. I can't think of what the other cartoon that makes me think of, but it was a little too not serious.
Yes.
That I didn't think I was going to take it seriously, but I did give it a chance. I watched 3 or 4 episodes, and then I'm like, yeah, compared to the other stuff they've been giving us, this ain't bad.
Yeah.
So it did grow on me. If they'd have done a 1 episode preview and then like waited for 3 months to give you the rest, I probably would not have come back, because it just that style is not my style. But the stories were pretty good, and the characters grew on me.
Yeah, we've been talking about that. Glenn, you're more than welcome to join us on Saturday night, and if you'd like to comment, we finally got our act together because we had the debut episode when we were reviewing it on Thursday when it debuted.
Oh, wow.
That was hard. So now we moved it to Saturday, which is really kind of cool. But all kidding aside, David asked this 6 minutes ago. What is coming up next for Warp 66?
Oh, well, you know, we usually are working on like 3 or 4 films at a time. So I think we'll go with the one that's probably going to be released next is called Mother. And it's co-written by my partner Dan Reynolds, and I don't know if I can say this or not. Somebody who wrote for Star Trek in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to get CBS on my ass.
And that's cool.
So, and anyway, it's called Mother. It takes place on a smaller ship than the Enterprise. I'm terrible at French. It's a destroyer class, but it's written in French. So however you say destroyer in French, that's the kind of class of ship it is. And Dan Reynolds is a friend with the other writer on it. So this is actually the one I've had the least involvement in the story on, because there's a professional writer involved. So I'm staying back and doing what I do, try to organize things, get the sets together, get the props together, that kind of stuff. So that one originally was slated for December, but it's not all shot yet. So don't know exactly when that one's going to come out. I'm putting the finishing touches on a Mirror Mirror episode. That's probably a year out. Because personally, I want to finish Space 1999 after we get Mother done. So that's a couple of things we got coming up. And then we did a couple episodes, if you go back and watch, that are kind of X-Files-y kind of thing. It's happening in 1990 with a couple of investigators who kind of start finding clues that are related to when Kirk has time traveled back. And those two characters played out really well. So we're going to do another episode with them, but it won't be Star Trek. It will be in our sci-fi shorts, because it won't have any Star Trek references in the third episode that we've done for them.
Very fun.
So, that is cool.
And we're working with I think his name is Greg Mitchell. God, if I got that wrong, I'm so sorry.
It would be great if it was Gary Mitchell, but sorry.
Yeah. Well, I actually have footage of Gary Mitchell that I acquired over the years that might be put into something. Anyway, Greg Mitchell has worked on several fan films. That's one of our episodes right there.
Yeah.
That will be another Star Wars Star Trek crossover.
Oh, fun.
So I don't know if you watched our other one. It's called Galaxy Hopper, but that one was fun to do because we had our R2D2 unit running around. It was great.
Oh wow. Okay. That is cool. I want to go to Elizabeth. A bit off topic, but do any of you watch the new Daryl Dixon spinoff of The Walking Dead? If so, did you catch the almost 100 parallel to Mary in the original Star Trek with the last episode? Oh, we may have something. I think it might be fun for Greg to do a cross of Star Trek and Stargate on that.
For Greg or Glenn?
She meant Glenn.
I know, I
Okay.
apologize. She was thinking of you, Greg, but she meant Glenn.
Well, if Glenn wants to come up to New England and help me,
Hey, you
We'll
know,
do something else.
I've shot Star Trek films in at least 8 states. So
Hey, that may be a bit of bragging rights there, young man.
I
don't
got to
know
get
if
back
other
down to
people
the
can say
Ozarks
that.
at some time.
yeah, I don't even know if I could list them all, but well, I've been in Hollywood to do Renegades. I've shot in Vegas doing Secret Voyage. I've been up to Colley's place in New York. I've been down in Georgia. I've shot stuff in Iowa, Illinois, Arkansas. I know I'm missing something, but we shoot lots of places.
Georgia?
If someone invites us out, yeah, I've been to Georgia. I was in an episode of Continues, so if anyone cares.
Oh, really, Glenn? Where? I'm so sorry, young man. I missed where you were in Star Trek Continues.
I was in the Mirror episode. I had a
Oh,
red jumpsuit on, so I was in several corridor shots.
so you were in a red jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Jumpsuit. Did
Yeah.
you live?
Yeah, they did not kill me.
Good man.
Yeah, I got tased, but that was an outtake that I did with Kat Roberts that was not a part of the show.
Funny.
But yeah, if you were there and saw it shoot, I'm in there 5 times, but you could probably only spot me 3 because I would have to point out like where my leg is in a shot or something.
That's funny. That's fair.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, wherever it takes me, I'll if it's if it makes sense to go there and do something, I'm open to that.
The fairest of them all. Yes.
That's the name of the episode. Yep.
Yep. That is cool. I appreciate that, Joseph. I'm mentioning 2 of the episodes. In Space 99, can you spoil your fan film a bit? Are the ship's plastic models or CGI? You don't have to answer that, but
No, they're going to be CG.
okay.
Yeah. Hey, the one question I thought everybody would be wanting to know about our Stargate film is right at the end. How did you guys like the corridors of Stargate Command?
Okay. Well, I hadn't gotten to it, but yes, that was really good. The
We
image.
shot it in a missile silo.
So you really did.
I went to a missile silo and shot that.
That is awesome.
You'll see more of that because I shot some of my Space 1999 in the same missile silo at the same time.
That was shot in a missile silo.
Yep.
That's where the
Impressive.
credits are, right?
Right.
Oh my goodness. That's excellent. Folks, sorry. I'm going to go to it now. Well, you know what? I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to show someone. I don't know if they're going to be able to recognize the individual, but we shall see. I don't know how the fitting for the costume went, but yeah, we might be able to get some information on that. We're going to get to it right now. And forgive me.
So I'm a little bit early.
Oh my God, no.
I like your boots, buddy.
I'm sorry, Dr. Tolbrook.
Lieutenant Ryan, SG-13.
I've been tasked to retrieve you and your team. Where is your team?
I regret to inform you. Other than myself, the rest of SG-13 was lost.
Do you know what that is?
Oh
Your
my God.
recommendations.
You're having a hard time watching yourself.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's so many behind the scenes stories with all these films. I had to make that costume to be adjustable to any size. The year we shot this, the February of that year, I almost died. I had lost like 80 pounds in 2 months. And then when I was finally cured, I put all the weight back on so fast that you can see. I'm not a thin guy, but I pounded on the weight because they were feeding me anything and everything to try to get my weight back up.
Wow.
So it's funny to see it, and there's also glad to be alive.
I'm
And,
glad,
and
man.
yeah, and honestly, I like making these. I don't like acting in them. But another shot where people are bailing for whatever reason, so I'm like, "Oh, I'll just do it." And then so there it is. I'm a Tok'ra.
That's cool. I thank you for sharing that with us, Glenn. I'm glad you recovered. I'm sure you are as well. So without stating the
Yeah,
obvious.
yeah. It would have been unfortunate because I haven't got my kids married off yet.
Yeah. Not wanting to be morbid, I apologize. But if I may, I'm going to skip on over just a bit more. And here we go. Check it out. That's cool.
Yeah.
That.
Yep, we went to a missile silo.
Wow. That is in a genuine missile silo. Well, the building.
Yeah. Well, actually, the way we're facing, you would go to where the missile is.
Right, which is up ahead, right?
Yeah, all the way at the end is where the missile would have been.
Wow. May I ask where this wasn't in Arizona, of course.
It's
That's
in
where they
Arkansas.
filmed First Contact.
It's in Arkansas.
It's in Arkansas, huh? Wow.
Yeah, it's probably 2 hours from my house.
Is it an old Titan too, or is it an Minuteman?
Nope, you had it right, Titan.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
We actually shot
I'm sorry.
scenes for 3 movies here. We shot this scene, a scene for the upcoming Space 1999, and if you really know what you're looking at, in Mud's Mission, there's one shot in the missile silo, but you probably would have had it been there. It doesn't look like this.
Interesting.
I apologize. I think someone is walking behind the building in the alley. Now, is that also CG or is that a real one?
Oh, that's one of the It didn't work all that well, so that's why we didn't use it in the rest of the show. We shot this scene first.
Okay. Wow. That is cool. We're pretty much near the end of the episode. Glenn, in my humble opinion, I don't think we blew the episode.
Oh no. I don't think anyone knows the subtleties of it. I mean, you didn't show him General Hammond.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Well,
no, I'm just
good you
saying.
didn't. Don't show anymore. Let people watch it, Roger.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm sorry.
Let people watch it. You gotta get them to their
I
side.
thought I was given the directive. I am so sorry.
Oh no! I was commenting. They didn't see it all because they didn't see General Hammond.
Yeah.
Oh, understood. Yes, I sorry. You see, I went into like, oh darn, and you saw me on the bottom, right? I was trying to find it.
No, it's all good. But like you said, any exposure is good exposure. We had a lot of fun making it. I hope a few people liked it, and it's all good. It's a hobby, so
It's a cool hobby, and obviously there's a lot of love done in this. But like I say, forgive me. I'm like, yeah, I don't think we gave away the story. We jumped all around it. Did show a lot.
Right, yeah, we didn't say what happened or what's gonna happen or how they got to what's gonna happen. So
yeah. No, that is cool. Folks, there is quite a bit to check out right here at the Federation Files. I am subscribed, and folks, this is fun. There's a lot of stuff. I envy them. They're doing a lot of good stuff, It's really exciting. I think we're gonna check out some of the bloopers on another day. But all kidding aside, I'm not saying goodbye, Glenn. I'm, of what we're looking at right here.
Yeah.
It's the Federation Files 8938, the Federation Files 8938 on YouTube, and we did have the other items. I missed some of the comments. You're right, Jay. But for those that have seen Stargate, could you tell us the music, please, that was played?
Oh my God. You need to bring Dan on. Like I said, I organize it, I build stuff. All the post production, the only involvement I have in post production is Dan sends me a clip and I say, yeah, I like it, or no, I don't. I really don't know how he chooses the
Oh,
music. I don't know how he chooses a lot. Oh, here's a bit. You guys love the opening scene where they were firing the bullets. What really made
yes.
that work, and this is all Dan, you get the muzzle flash on the guy's face. If you watch his face, when the muzzle flash, you'll see light on his face. That's all CG.
And
Yeah,
look,
that's why I thought it was practical.
yes, and I think that's why I'm going to go back there again. Forgive me a moment. I think that's what sold me. Me too, Greg.
Yeah, that's what sells it, is because the flash is not only on the end of the gun, you'll see a light flashing on his face as he's shooting.
Folks, forgive me. Glenn, it runs a minute. May I run it again?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Folks, just so you understand. Check it out. And that's a real fire.
So,
Yep.
can anyone tell me why it's called a Stargate? It doesn't go to the stars; it goes to other planets.
So what would you call it? Planet Gate?
Be more accurate.
So you want that patch on your shoulder to say PG-13? What?
No, okay,
Go. I'll dial. Cover.
Get out of here, Cap.
Are you kidding? Go. That's an order.
No, sir, I got this. You're right behind me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that last volley in particular, you could see it on his face.
That's,
There is subtle artistry. It wasn't just me, Glenn, when I was talking about the planet, the speeding up, that coloring, that tint, that hue. That is cool, man. That takes time to do.
Yep.
And the flashes, yeah, Greg, I can't say it enough. I think that's what got me.
no,
Yeah.
it's come a long way. I mean, you're doing stuff that look better than stuff on Sci-Fi Channel, 15 years ago.
Yes. David, and maybe even today still. Glad to see you looking healthy and feeling better, Glenn. I'm out today.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I
Oh,
probably need
thank
to
you,
now
David.
lose weight now. So
Yeah.
Good night,
Um,
David.
I missed the what is slate. I'm not sure where we were on that on slate. So Jay, remind me, what was that? Attention to detail. Yes, Joseph. Thank you for that. I think that's what we were trying to say and didn't say. Yeah. Wow. That is cool. That is neat. Um, you mentioned how you got into this and why you did because of phase two, new voyages and stuff, and you still wanted to play. What is, and I guess you kind of hinted a little bit about it. Well, it didn't hint, you said it. What, I know what Star Trek represents to you. I thank you for sharing that. What is the one that you go back to all the time for whatever reason? Oh, it was part of the credits.
oh, he wants to know what slate credit. Oh, slate
Yes.
credit. That I think a lot of laymen will call it clapper. You know, the little thing that you clap down and it says scene and take and that, and then you clap it.
Oh, got it.
That's actually called slate. Yeah.
Thank you
So
for that.
yeah, so whoever's running that, because that's what you set your timing up when you're editing for that the click of the clapper. Um, and I thought that's what he was asking, but I did not previously see it brought up. But yeah, that's whoever's basically whoever runs Slate is a person that's not in the scene at the time.
Oh, got it.
We don't necessarily have a dedicated person, and that's why I was saying our actors are willing to do other things as well as just act. So I'm sure Caitlin's been on the slate. I've been on the slate. Dan's not on the slate too much because he runs the camera. I'm sure David's been on the slate with us as well. So what do I go back Star Trek wise or just overall?
That's a good question. Your fault. Now you got to give me 2 answers.
Okay. Overall, because it was the right time and I was the right age, the original Star Wars will probably always be my favorite. And actually, I like it before the re-edits where Han Solo didn't shoot first and all that crap. No one cared. No one cared that he shot first. At least I didn't. It made sense. Here's
the difference between, if I may, sorry, Glenn. Here's the difference between Glenn and I. He was 10. He was much more mature than I was at 8. I thought it was cool. Glenn says, well, if you study the story and the character and everything, the situation, it makes sense. And I'm like, he's badass. Sorry, Glenn. I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh, that's so funny that you put it that way. But anyway, there was nothing wrong with that scene. Now I do agree putting the Boba or the Jabba the Hutt scene in helped the story, but they didn't have to do some of the other stuff. But
I have the T-shirt. Han shot first, and I never ever have to. You know how people see a T-shirt and they'll ask what it is. I have never been asked on that T-shirt.
Really? Yeah, they all know. They all know.
Good God, yes. As a matter of fact, I had a post when Disney purchased Fox. I forget where. I think it was on my blog. I said, Disney, when they lose, I think it was in 2022 or 2023, when Fox, because they had the rights to Star Wars, the original movie, it would fall back to Lucasfilm and Disney, of course. Well, it turns out they purchased Fox later, but I told them that once it expired in 2021 or 2020, I said, please, you own it now. Fix it. Put it back. And no, Disney doesn't want to do it. And I guess Disney doesn't want to do it because I don't know if you know this, yeah, you do. You know that George is creative consultant on some of the newer projects, which, in my humble opinion, that is cool.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely agree.
Yes. Yes.
So anyway.
Yeah, I apologize. Elizabeth says, Clappers is sent from the old slate. I actually have several thanks to my godfather who was a director and producer in the 30s and 40s. That is cool with the slate boards. Thank you.
Used to use chalk too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We've seen him in some of the older movies. Glenn, I interrupted you again. I'm so sorry.
Yes. Oh no. Hey, we're having a conversation, so we both get to talk. So yeah, Star Wars is probably what really got me interested in sci-fi overall. And just because of the age I was when it came out, and I was its target audience, I just love that. Which really that led me into Star Trek because I grew up in a very rural area in northern Illinois, and shortly after Star Wars came out, Star Trek came out in syndication, and it was on at 3:30 in the afternoon, and that's when I got home from school, 3:30, and you got 4 channels to select from, on the antenna, and Star Trek was there, and so I started watching that, and oddly, my take on Empire Strikes Back after watching Star Trek was, God, they're stealing a lot of things from Star Trek. I mean, Cloud City was not originally Star Wars. It was in Star Trek.
The Cloud Miners.
Yeah.
Wow.
So because I watched all of the Star Trek stuff, right before going to see Empire, and of course, they had an ice planet in when they went back in time with that Zarabeth. She lived in an ice cave. So it made Star Wars not quite the how original as Star Wars was for me, because now I'm looking back and Lucas has admitted, he went back to old serials and stuff and got ideas. So it's not like he was saying I came up with everything. But I realized that Star Trek had a pretty good influence on Star Trek or Star Wars.
Tanya's with you on this. She says, I've told my husband that, and he's like, it's totally different.
It's not totally different.
Not totally
It's
different.
Cloud City. I mean, how different can it be?
I'm going to say that McQuarrie's design for Bespin is a lot prettier than the city in Star Trek.
Well,
yeah,
time difference, it made
True. Yeah, what, 10,
money.
12 years later, 13
Money
years
is
later.
big.
Yeah. Now, what I did always love about Star Wars over Star Trek, especially the original Star Trek, I didn't recognize it when I watched Star Trek until I started watching Star Wars a little more. Filling in the background with extras, animals, plants. Star Trek is so obviously shot on a set, and nothing was put in there that wasn't absolutely needed. Where Lucas was having, Dagobah, 400 snakes on set, and iguanas and all that. Making the universe feel complete was definitely a Lucas thing versus an old TV series.
Well, they didn't have the money. I mean, they had shoestring budgets, so
they
did as much as they could.
Yeah, I mean, they were dumpster diving for stuff like I do now. It's I kid with Dan. My studio should be called Goodwill Studios because half the stuff I have I thrifted at Goodwill or Salvation Army or whatever thrift stores are out there.
Well, that's what they do with Star Trek now. Maybe less so with the printers that they have.
Yeah,
but they did that during the movies. They did that during the original series. It was a big deal. Damn it! I had a great line for you, and my old age, I forgot it. Oh, darn it! I'm gonna see if that. Yeah, what a shock! I'm gonna have to get to it. Oh man, and it was good too. Darn it! I was itching to say it, I just couldn't get to it. It had to do with. Oh man, darn it! I'll remember it when we end the episode.
Of course.
But Star Trek was the godfather of all sci-fi. I think for the modern stuff, I don't want to argue with you, Elizabeth, but let me tell you, what's the planet with Leslie Nielsen, Forbidden Planet?
Yeah. Forbidden Planet.
Heck, Buck Rogers.
Serials, Flash Gordon serials.
George
Flash
got
Gordon.
some of that stuff. So I hear you. Maybe that science. I'm not being argumentative. You know what? Star Trek could be the godfather, yes. Whereas the other programs could be the adopted father for modern sci-fi. I don't know. We'll have to set up that familial relationship.
Star Trek made the oomph of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would even say Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea was sci-fi.
Oh yeah.
On television.
Yeah.
Man from U.N.C.L.E. Lost in Space.
Lost in Space, I think ran at the same time though. As
I'm sorry, Glenn. I missed your comment about it being at the same time or something.
He said Lost in Space.
Lost in Space and Star Trek are basically the same time frame.
Yeah.
On TV. But I will agree with you that I think it's the grandfather of serious, to be taken seriously, sci-fi, as opposed to the earlier series were kind of, not that Star Trek isn't campy sometimes, but the earlier ones were way more campy than Star Trek.
True.
Well, that's what George Lucas said. Yeah. I wanted to give not give an homage, but you know what I'm talking. He wanted to acknowledge the Saturday morning serials. That I don't know if it's Elizabeth. I think we're in agreement with you. I think we're in agreement. And of course, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea was sci-fi. Yes, there it is. So, the many loves of Doobie Gillis was.
Dobie Gillis.
Uh-oh. I'm not certain. There's a spectacular age difference between Glenn and I. Okay, I don't know what that is, and we're only separated by 2 years. Go figure.
Yeah. Well, Dobie Gillis starred Bob Denver from Gilligan's Island.
Mm-hmm.
Say ho? What?
Yeah, he did.
I don't think I ever saw that.
Oh,
I
sadly,
never
I
saw it
did.
either, but I'm aware of what it
Sadly,
is.
I did. That's funny.
Yeah,
Is
he's a
it
beatnik, and yeah.
really?
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
into that one. One of the first memories I ever have was when I was very young. We had gone south of the border, and I unfortunately drank the water, and so I was hospitalized back in Los Angeles for about 2 weeks because I had an infection. And I remember being like 4 years old, maybe even three, and telling my mother, "No, no, Star Trek's on right now, right now. I am in there." And I'm like, "No, Star." My mother's like, "No, it's not. You're under drugs, buddy." She was trying to tell the 3-year-old, "No, today's Saturday," or whatever. But no, that is cool. Dwayne Hickman, Tuesday Weld.
I think that's the Dobie Gillis actors.
Yeah.
Impressive, Joseph. Did you notice the audience went silent, or the panel went
Like,
silent?
Ooh, Tuesday.
No, I was looking
Weld.
at say, yeah, I know those names. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That is cool. Hey, folks, I want to give a shout out. Yes, it is.
Ooh.
I want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat room too. Your comments are priceless and much appreciated. You know, Glenn, Michael, and I have done this, and we rarely share with the audience, but we always thank them when we do these interviews. The chat room, as you can see, Glenn, it makes the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, their comments, and
Oh,
they've
oh,
made
yeah.
this episode. And even though, again, we're not ending, and Glenn's like, "Oh God." Anyway, we're not. I want to make sure I get that comment in there because we've said Michael and I are always fearful because sometimes we have a wonderful guest, and because of the hour of the scheduling, chat room is dead, and it's difficult. You guys and your questions or comments are absolutely awesome, folks. So if
I
this is
love that because I want to give the audience what they want to know. So if they, they have the opportunity to ask me something if they want,
Oh, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen in the audience. Are there any questions? Roger has only dominated for an hour and 36 minutes. We've been on for
We've
an
had
hour
a
38.
few.
Yes. We thank you all for the guests you have. It makes this so much fun.
Okay, before we go, we have to show.
Please don't stop, Elizabeth. Please don't stop.
We have to show this just so Roger and Greg will understand what Glenn and I were talking about.
You can stop, Jag. Oh, I'm sorry. What,
Jag.
Mike? Oh, okay. I may have seen that shot, but again, he has a
Oh
Van
my
Dyke.
God.
So that's
No,
long
that wasn't
before
goatee.
Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
yeah.
long before. Mhm.
Actually, could you put that one on again?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Folks, that is a real goatee. That is.
Yeah.
The Van Dyke is where it goes all. Well, I'm close to Van Dyke sans the beard right here. That is cool. That is real. Oh my God, John Denver. And
Wow.
isn't he from
Bob Denver.
what? Bob Denver. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, laugh all you want. Roger is slacking. I guess, Jag, you saw that one coming. Jag is a co-host with us from time to time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
1950.
all right.
Yeah, folks, that was 10 years before I was born on this planet. So, yeah, sorry.
Predates us a wee
I
bit.
feel old. I watched it.
Wow.
Granted reruns, but even still. I didn't even
I don't
know
think I ever saw it in reruns or syndication.
Yeah, I didn't.
You know, it was on one of those other
Damn, I wish I remembered
cable
that.
channels that show all the old stuff. It's been played a couple of times, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I haven't seen it still.
Well, that's how I saw like Voyages on the Sea and
Oh, I saw that in
UFO and-
second run. So is that the rerun of the rerun? I did in the 1970s. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. So that is cool. But folks, again, I just wanted to get that in there. Glenn, you've been doing this for 7 years. You've got, I guess, 3 that are in the works right now, right?
Minimum
That
of
are
3.
actual. Oh, all right. So what do you think you're working on then all together? The concept ones, the ones being written, the ones that are like, if I had a little bit of money, we could get
Oh,
this one done.
if,
You know,
if,
one
if
of
it's the
those.
ones that I had a little bit of money, we'd probably be at 20 more. Our goal was to do 26 Star Trek episodes, which back in the day that was a full season. But in various phases of we have shots of some length for 5 episodes now. Some we just did one shot because like when we shot at the missile silo, I wanted to take advantage of being there, so I shot for 3 different films at the missile silo, even though Stargate wasn't even written yet. When I went there, because I didn't go there to shoot Stargate there. I went there for the Mud episode, and then I'm like, wow, I am kicking around this Stargate thing. I may as well get some shots while I'm here, because you got to pay to go there. So I don't want to pay to go back, unless I'm going to do a whole episode there. So yeah, there's 5 that have some kind of shots in them. There's probably totally 7 that are more or less written, and then we do entertain scripts from other people. So like David Whitney has a Mud script he's working on. I have another person I work with who has a Mud script that he's working on. So you might get 2 more Mud scripts produced whenever they send me a script. We'll start on that. And like I said, Greg Mitchell, I think he's worked with Vance Major on something. And he wants to do another Star Wars Star Trek crossover. So that's kind of his baby on that. That script is written, but we haven't started shooting that yet. So, God, we'll probably in the 8 to 10 range of things that at least are in some process of getting done.
I'm glad you shared that with us, because now the audience, your fans, well, the fans that are part of your groups, they know that, but the newer fans that you are getting here today, they have an idea. Because one frustration that many that don't know, it's like, why does it take so long? They don't know. And you sharing
They have
it,
no idea.
you sharing this is really cool, and it gives them an idea of why it takes so long and what is in the works. I wanted to, oh my goodness, there was another thing I was going to ask you about right now, and I keep wanting to back up, and now I'm forgetting. And it's a technical question on, oh my goodness. Joseph, thank you. Thank you for saving me, because I forgot. Jeez. Oh no, the thought came back and it took off. So he's asking about a Klingon episode. Have you ever had that where you're about, it's like, oh, there, oh, it left. Where you remembered what you were going to ask? Yeah, it just took off.
Hold on 1 second.
That's my life. I think I have the question. No, God, it's gone again.
So in answer to the Klingon episode, I don't have one written, but I'm working on this today.
Oh, Coolio, give me a chance, young man. I'm going to home in on the image. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
So I do want to do a Klingon episode. I just haven't come up with a good idea yet. If anybody wants to shoot me an idea, we have had Klingons in episodes before, but they weren't episodes about Klingons. So, but just to give you an idea, this I made this today. This is another thrift find.
Yeah.
This is a purse that I cut up and sewed together and made this out of. And then, of course,
Wow.
then we 3D printed the badge.
Oh, so you do have a 3D printer. Good for you.
Yeah. We don't do a lot of 3D printing, but on occasion, the episode we're doing right now called Mother, that Dan is in charge of, he 3D printed a lot for that one, and it's his 3D printer, and it's at his office, so it's easy for him to just program it and do it. Where if I need something printed, we don't live next to each other, by the way. That maybe that will expand. I can't just run over there and 3D print something, because we live about an hour apart, and our sets are are not all in one building. Another reason, kind of an answer to a question, why does it take so long to do some stuff? Well, because our sets are also not together. We have sets in 3 different buildings, an hour apart. So we don't, like the bridge set, we shoot the bridge stuff on one day, and then the actors all have to go to another set to shoot briefing room or the corridors or sick bay or transporter room. So we don't usually shoot at both locations on the same weekend shoot. We get all the bridge stuff done, and then we schedule another day to go do the rest of it because it's a different location.
Glenn, remember the story behind George Lucas is that for him things rhyme and there's symmetry in the stories. I think this is correct. I'm slacking, but the ingenuity coming from those that make fan films equal totally unmatched.
Wow.
Hashtag amazing. Jag, that
Thank
is
you.
so cool. I'm gonna have to save that quote. That one, yes. It is amazing what you guys do. Absolutely amazing. And just even the little bit that you've shared with, I mean, it's quite a bit, but you know what I mean. The little bit that you shared with us tonight. I got to tell you, I can't wait to see what's coming. I'm going to have to go back and watch the other episodes. As I mentioned, I did see the Roman one, and I'm going to have to go back and start from one and work my way through. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to see this prior, but I'm glad that it's there. And this is really cool. And it's not necessarily a comment, but I also want to give you the acknowledgement that I appreciate everything that you do in many ways, but in this special way. We all want to be Kirk. We all want to be Spock, but I give a greater level of props to the individuals that tell the stories as you do. And I appreciate what you said. It doesn't hurt to go to the characters that we know, but that you make up your own. That's part of what Star Trek is, going out and discovering that which we do not know. And I appreciate when it's not that I don't appreciate the other fan films, and I do, but this is what gets my attention, Glenn, is when you do the stuff that we haven't seen, which is really awesome.
Thank you so much. And that's really, you see people complain all the time. Well, if you want to make, a film, why don't you just make your own film? Why do you want to do Kirk and Spock? Well, for one, they don't get the fact we're doing this because we love Star Trek, not because I'm trying to be a producer or I'm trying to be a director. I'm not trying to make money. I'm having
Definitely not
fun
making
on
money.
a hobby.
Definitely not making money.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. It definitely not making money. I can tell you that. But the ability to be creative without being locked into what we already know is a reason that when I started doing that, I wanted to do an anthology. So if a character works, yeah, we'll bring him back. If it's a one off, then it's a one off. It's and another reason for the anthology. I thought on this is anybody who's tried to make a series on a fan film has a hell of a time trying to get everyone back at the same time. So, and like Star Trek continues, because they were paying people, it was a little bit easier. But if you were strictly working on volunteer, you're not going to get your same cast back every single time you want to do an episode.
No.
So why even try? I just whoever wants to act, let me know when you're available, and you will audition you for whatever role. And so we have many people who played many different characters. The same person playing different characters, sometimes in the same episode.
Yeah, it's in the same episode. I've seen that. I saw one person. They were 5 different characters that had 5 different shirts on or something, where they were aliens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it happens. It works.
It happens.
It's the commitment.
Do what you have to do.
Yes, you do what you have to do. Now, Glenn, we are famous or notorious. We will go on, and we are trying to get our act together in that. So, all seriousness aside, we are coming up on 2 hours, and I know it's a Monday night. So I really don't want to take any more other than you would like to spend with us. But be that as it may, we're about down, I would say 10 minutes, or if you want to stay with us. What is it that you want to share that we haven't asked, either because we're just not smart enough to ask or we just forgot to ask? What is it that you want to share with the audience about what you do and maybe your love of what you do?
Well, actually, that was exactly it. Is do this out of it's a a passion project. Like I said, not trying to get famous, not trying to use this to promote anything. It's just a couple guys. Me and Dan. All this. None of this would happen without Dan. I met Dan Reynolds up at Phase 2, and I had my first episode shot, and I couldn't get it edited and finished, and people were bailing on the project, and then just accidentally ran into Dan Reynolds working up on Phase 2, and the second time we worked up there, we actually started hitting it off and became more buddies at that point. And then he volunteered to help me finish my first episode, and then we've been working together ever since. So as whether the episode comes off rough or comes off great, the what I want to really emphasize on it, and you guys had mentioned showing some behind the scenes stuff. Really, you got to look at that stuff to understand that this is a passion project and we all have fun. And when it stops becoming fun, we're going to stop doing it, because we're doing it for us and our buddies. And if we grab an audience and they enjoy it with us, that's fantastic. But we're not doing it to try to can we get you 1 million views? I mean, we struggle getting to 10,000 views most of the time, and it's not about the views. It's about the fun time we had making it. Dan talks about we should do a commentary track on a lot of our films, and I think he's right, because if we just shared just the crazy stuff that goes on making these, it's unbelievable. I mean, we shoot. We shot at in Oklahoma City. The first time I shot there, it was the coldest day in like 15 years. And we didn't know that when we scheduled. And then when we get there, it's a blizzard. It's like the building that we were in was not heated. It was like 20 degrees. We had little fires going in this warehouse. Dale Price, how are you? Dale is an actor, and his daughters are actors in several of my films, and I think we even had his wife in one of the films, at least driving a car in one of the X-Files episodes. Anyway, so I just want to instill that this is a hobby. It's for fun and creativity, and really that for us, that's what it's about. It's having the fun, meeting new people. We are always getting somebody else volunteering to do whatever, and it's fun to see where people gravitate. We had a young girl. I think she was 15 when she volunteered, and she was shy and quiet, and she wanted to do some acting. I gave her an extra role, and then she wanted to help like behind the scenes. And I'm telling you this story because it leads up to she went from a shy wallflower girl to she directed Magna Roma, and she's 17, but
Cool.
and then another young lady that volunteered for me, she was about 18, and quiet as all get out. She wanted to act. I gave her a role as a reporter, and I'm thinking this is going to be a struggle because she's so quiet and mousy, and she did her lines. I could have used the first take. She was practiced, and she walked in there, and we rolled that camera. It was like a totally different person, because I'm thinking I got to really work this girl. And no, her name's Shaylin, by the way, Shaylin Everett's, and she just blew me away. She was, like I said, volunteering and all meek, and I'm thinking yeah, this isn't going to work. But I do like to reward the people who volunteer to do things for me, to let them do what they want. So, and it paid off. She was great. And she went on to do several different roles for me. And now she's gone away to college. And the young lady that directed Magna Roma, now she's starting college this fall. So we have people coming in and out. Hey, Caitlin's on. You guys, oh, the Star of Stargate is on.
Yes, well, we have Caitlin and Michael L. King.
Yeah, yeah. Michael's been in a couple of my shows. I've worked on a couple of his shows. Michael's a great guy. Good to see you, Michael. Hopefully, we're going to shoot one of your films someday. Him and I talk back and forth about doing another Valiant episode. So, and Caitlin, were you on when I was talking about how scared you were on the train trestle? So anyway, my point of the whole thing was, we try to have fun, we make good friends, and it's a labor of love.
Glenn, that when you started to share that heartfelt moment, they responded. That was real.
And Caitlin knows the people I was talking about, so yeah, she knows exactly what I'm talking about. But
they responded to you right now, Glenn. They did.
Caitlin, Candace Lampert was the high school girl I was talking about.
Yeah.
Her mom, after the first time we gave her a speaking role, called me and just thanked me for everything I had done for her, because she had entered some kind of speaking contest, and I think she won it. And then she went on to produce a whole Veterans Day banquet thing at her high school, and her mom credits me with all that, and of course I take no credit for it. She volunteered, she found it within herself to grow. I just happened to be a tool along the way, and I'm glad she got that opportunity, and I'm glad for the young woman she's become.
Glenn, the humility shows forth, and I appreciate that. You can't fake what you can't fake your attitude. And knowing that they're coming to spend time with you on the episode tonight, that is so cool. And based on the stuff that you've been telling us, it is cool. It is real. It's nice to know. And
like I said, we do it for fun, and I enjoy it. And if somebody gets something out of it that's beyond what we were trying to do, hey, that's personal growth, and hey, I'm all for it. I'm glad I was a small part in it. It's one pinnacle event in your life, could affect somebody in ways you can't imagine.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we're near the end now. We're going to go over by just a little bit. I do want to remind everyone that we are reviewing episodes of Ahsoka. We're doing Lower Decks. Glenn, you're more than welcome to join us on that. It is late on a Saturday, but it is a Saturday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We review the episode, and we're going to be doing other stuff as well. I hope, Glenn, that you are able to join us again in the future. Maybe you can bring a few of your team members, and whether they be in front of the camera or behind the camera, it is much appreciated. And if you want to do a commentary track on air, we could do that.
That's an idea.
We could help facilitate that. And you're muted, Greg. That would
be a lot of fun.
Would so humbly offer. Yeah. And it's just a matter of coordinating. And you see, look, Michael's like, yeah, nice idea, dude. But who's going to have to coordinate that? Me. Yeah. Me. Michael. Did you guys really see his face? He's like,
did you?
I hate you, Roger. I hate you.
You did know I told someone I'd gone on strike yesterday. So.
Oh my gosh! Well, this has been a blast, guys. I enjoyed this a lot.
Glenn, we did as well. We are humbled. We're privileged. We're envious. I know I kind of have this same spiel over and over, but I mean it. We're grateful that you come to share your baby, and that baby belongs to many other people as well. I get that.
Yes.
But you're on with us right now, and those in the chat room, your comments are much appreciated. As I said earlier, your comments make the program as well, folks. It means a great deal to us that you're spending time with us. Glenn, it's really cool what you're doing. I am excited. I regret not knowing of it before. I'm a fan. I've subscribed. I'm going to be checking out the stuff. I look forward to assisting anyway. You have any notices, bulletins, whatever, send them to us. We'll gladly put it on anytime you want to be on with us. If you want to do a commercial, we'll gladly do that. Well, I'm serious. I've told this to many people, and they don't take me up on it. So whatever, that's okay.
Yeah, we do have a commercial on our site.
Yes. So
I'm just saying.
There it is. So maybe if you could send it to me and I could upload it here, I would be glad to do it, Glenn. I like what you do. The one thing I wanted to add was when you say that the reason why we do Star Trek, remember that? I wanted to add, it's because maybe the sandbox is so cool.
Definitely.
And we want to
and it's so big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So big.
It is. And it's a cool sandbox, man. The colors, the sand, and we want to play there. And that's, I think, one of the reasons you do it. And I'm going to throw this to you, and I haven't done it to anyone else, and it's very deliberate, Glenn. And young man, I'm impressed. So I'm going to let it go at that. I'm impressed with you, your attitude, everything you do. I have to ask you a very, very evil, tough question. Trekkie or Trekker?
I'm a Trekker.
How about
but
this,
I'm not
Glenn?
offended by Trekkie.
Okay.
I want to be a Trekkies.
Okay. Like that. I have always answered people when they ask me Trekkie or Trekker. I answer, I am a citizen of the Federation.
Awesome. That's a great answer.
I offer that to you, Glenn.
That is awesome.
I see you as a kindred spirit, young man. I see your love for what you do. I am not comparing myself to you. I'm just throwing that to you, brother.
Hey, I'm just a guy who's got a big building. So,
hey, size matters, buddy. Good for you.
Not a bad thing to have.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't say I'm just a guy with a little production.
Yeah, that's right. The joke would not have worked. That's good. I would not have happened. Joseph, thank you. Seriously, Joseph, thanks for spending time with us. And everyone, Elizabeth, Michael, of course, Caitlin, thank you. Dale, Jag, Tanya. Yes, Joseph. I think I said it again. Jay, everyone, David. I'm going through all the names right now. Wow. There were a lot of comments from a lot of people.
Those are the ones that just commented. So
just the ones that commented.
Yeah.
Yes. It means a great deal to us. And folks, now you know. You put the comment, and unless you're a total jerk, we will put the comments. And we will. And even if we disagree with your comment, we'll probably put it up. As my co-hosts have learned, if there's thought behind the comment, will it be negative? I'm all right with that. But if you want to say, "Oh, this sucks," we don't have time for you. Yeah, there's no time. I'll just throw you a diaper and say, "Go change yourself." So, other than that, my fellow co-hosts, is there anything else that you wanted to go ahead and add? And Glenn, if I didn't say it, we'd love to have you back.
I would be happy to come back anytime.
Okay.
I got 13 films to talk about.
Ooh, that was real. All right, that was real. I'm not going to say I'm going to hold you to that, but Glenn, I'm going to hold you to that. So you let us know, Glenn. Seriously, if you want to do it, and that commentary track, I've been telling people to do this for a while. I know it's tough, but if you want to give it a shot, we'll be glad to help out. Now, the only problem is it's all live. There is no editing, but that's what makes it.
Yep.
Glenn, have you ever done an interview before?
I have been interviewed a few times before, yes.
Okay, but this was not an interview. This was a conversation.
I agree. I feel like I'm talking to friends.
Oh, I appreciate
that can get some people in trouble.
Well, that's too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like Harry Kim said in Voyager, I'm not going to let people tell me who my friends can be.
That's from the very beginning, right? That's
right.
They
were warning him about Tom Paris,
That's right. Yes.
And look, they became great buddies. So
hey, Voyager fans, that was cool. And when you ever want to talk some hardcore Star Trek as well, you're more than welcome. Caitlin, thank you for the like. Dale, thank you. Tanya, Jay, David Whitney, Joseph Spurka, Sonia Robles, and Elizabeth Olivia Cooper. Our love, thank you for the likes. We cannot get the connection to YouTube. If the likes are there, we thank you. It's just the way it works with StreamYard. Just not everything is there. We thank you. So, folks, that's awesome. Glenn, I can't wait. I'm serious. I can't fake this, buddy. I cannot wait to have some more conversations. I thank you, man.
It'll be fun.
So what we're gonna do, folks, at this moment, I think, Michael, do we have any further announcements right now?
Just you've made them with the review shows. That's all I've got scheduled.
Okay, yeah, we have a bunch of review shows scheduled. We don't have it. Well, we do actually have guests coming up, but till
They're
we
not
get them
confirmed.
confirmed and the episode is programmed. So if there are any ARC fans on the Sci-Fi channel, folks, come and join us. We do the reviews on Sundays when the episodes are over and done. I don't know if we're gonna do. No, we're not gonna do a rewatch. We just said season.
No,
No, we're not doing a rewatch.
No.
But all kidding aside, we've gone over. And Glenn, if you don't mind, if you would stay on with us just as we finish up.
And I will say this though: if you are an ARC fan, we just did our 4th conversation with Mercedes de la Cruz last Monday, and it is awesome. So if you want to go on our YouTube page, because I think that was I'm not sure if I made it on the Facebook page. I can't remember. We're having some troubles with Facebook, but it's on our YouTube channel. Or you can just go to ndbmedia.net, ndbmedia.net, and down in the lower left, you can look at our YouTube channel, or just look on the episode under video stuff and under Trekking Across the Universe, and you can find it. And you can find Glenn's there too.
And I will have to say that knowing what we said earlier about Trekking Across the Universe with Michael Day, thank God it's in DB Media, because if it would have been MDB, that's Michael Day Broadcasting Media, that would have been bad. On another day, I'll explain what it is. But all kidding aside, folks, thank you. As they said in Lower Decks, don't let the door hit you where the Big Bang split you. All right, folks. Thank you for spending time with us. And I think we have one more last comment. The ARC rewatch, not sure how many of that makes for me. I'm an addict, yes. And you're an addict for us. We thank you, Elizabeth. I did get your message, Elizabeth. I will respond to you. I've been busy. So, folks, we're good. We're done. Don't forget, let me put it one more time on Federation Files. Folks, if you didn't figure it out, they're doing good stuff.
They are.
Check it out, man. It's fun. They actually have a sense of humor too, which makes it fun.
And very creative, good storytelling.
Yeah.
Glenn, I apologize, I haven't caught up on all these, but the ones I have seen, I've enjoyed a lot.
Thank you.
Walking Bear, Running Wolf is one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh, I love that one.
Wow, that one we're gonna have to. Glenn, I can't wait. We'll go through them. We will.
Spoiler: real wolf on set.
Oh, that might have been part of the commentary track.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We'll see you guys on the other side. Jolan True, and peace and long life.